Fog. Today we're going to be going over the unit circle. So first we have a blank unit circle. Pause this video and fill it out.
So before we move on to Trig, make sure you review and try to memorize the unit circle because it likely won't be provided on your test. Also, even though you have to memorize it, there's some helpful tricks to make it a little bit easier. First, think about how our coordinates and our denominators tend to mirror each other. So 3 pi over 4, same denominator of over 4, and the same thing as root 2 over 2, root 2 over 2, we see it kind of mirrored. And then second, think about the circle as a coordinate plane, obviously, to figure out what's negative, what's positive. That'll make it really easy. And then third, if you can't remember what the specific coordinates are, think about what numbers are larger and smaller. So obviously root 3 over 2 is larger than root 2 over 2 because 3 is larger than 2, and so on.
Now we're going to review some trig identities. So we know that sine of theta is equal to 1 over cosecant of theta, and cosecant of theta is 1 over sine of theta. Cosine of theta equals 1 over secant of theta, and secant of theta is 1 over cosine of theta. For tangent, we know that it's going to be equal to 1 over cotangent of theta, but also sine of theta over cosine of theta. The same is for cotangent, we have it equal to 1 over tangent of theta, and it is equal to cosine of theta over sine of theta.
Okay, so now we have some practice problems. We're going to start with cosecant of 2 pi over 3. If we look at our unit circle over here, we see that the sine of 2 pi over 3 is root 3 over 2. And so we're going to have to flip it because it's cosecant. And that's going to get us or 2 root 3 over 3 when we do the math. Because we can't have a square root on the bottom, we can move it to the top. So that's our answer for that. Then we have cosine of 7 pi over 4. If we look over here, what is our x value? It's root 2 over 2. That's our answer for that one. Sine of 4 pi over 3. Once again, look down over here. So our y value is negative root 3 over 2. And remember, try to be memorizing the circle because, like I said, you're not going to have this on a test. Alright, and then we have cotangent of 1 pi over 6. And so we need to find initially what is the tangent of 1 pi over 6. So our tangent is going to be negative 1/2 over root 3 over 2. That's y over x, but for cotangents with x over y, so that's going to be root 3 over 2 over negative 1/2, which is the same as root 3 over 2 times negative 2 over 1. So these are going to cancel out, and we're going to get negative root 3 as our answer. Secant of pi, so what is the x value for our cosine? What's the cosine x value initially? That's negative 1, but it's actually going to be the same for secant because our denominator would be technically 1, if that makes sense. Sine of negative 5 pi over 3. So then we need to count backwards. So if you think about where 5 pi over 3 is, it's down over here, but if we were to go negatively, we would need to go all the way over here to pi over 3. And what's the x value there? Root 3 over 2. And then cotangent negative 5 pi over 4, same deal. We see it right here. So if we go like this, we get over here. But if we were to go negatively, it'd be 3 pi over 4. And that would be tricky because once again, we need to do tangent first. And this is our y over x. And then we flip it. Which equals negative 1.
Hi, so this time we have some more problems, but this time it's with angle measures instead of radians. So our first question is cosine of 270. So 270 would be right here, 3 pi over 2, and the cosine would be 0. And next we have the sine of 45. So 45 is right here. And the sign, it looks like, is square root of 2 over 2. Next, we have a little harder, the secant of 30 degrees. So here, the cosine would be square root of 3 over 2. And the secant would be 2 over the square root of 3. But we cannot have a square root in our denominator. So we would multiply it by square root of 3 over square root of 3. And we would get 2 times the square root of 3 over 3. And that would be our answer. Next, we have the cotangent of 0 degrees. So 0 is right here. And the tangent would be sine over cosine. So we would do 0 over 1, which equals, but then that would just be the regular tangent. So we would flip it around to be 1 over 0, which equals undefined. Next, we have the cosecant of 330. So 330 would be right here. And we have, for the cosecant, we would take sine, and the sign is negative 1/2. And we would flip this so that it would be 2 over 1, negative 2, which equals negative 2. Next, we have the tangent of 390 degrees. And if you go around, that's 360, so that would be 390 degrees. And the tangent, we would do, again, sine over cosine. So we would do 1/2 over the square root of 3 over 2, or 1/2 times 2 over the square root of 3, which equals 1 over the square root of 3. But we cannot have that, so we will multiply by the square root of 3 over the square root of 3, and we would get square root of 3 over 3. And for our last one, we have the sign of negative 150. So if you see, we go around, here's 150 regularly, but this is negative. So we would go around here, and that would be negative 150. And we're looking for the sign, so we would take negative 1/2.
Thank you so much for watching. Try these practice problems on your own, pause the video, and tell us in the comments what you get and if you want more practice problems. Bye!